Good morning, America. How you doing today? What is today? Today's Tuesday, the 14th, November 14th, and this is round two of Good Morning America. And I figured today, instead of getting on here and complaining about my life and things that are happening with me, I'd come up here and spill my coffee. All right, but I would come up here and show you some things that I found in the news and kind of interesting. And you guys have probably all seen this too. And feel free to share some stories that you think other people should see also, because this is just a quick first time go at this and whatnot. So, as you can see here, Benny Johnson. Now, Benny, I've seen him for a little while. I never talked to him. I don't know him, but he reports on some things. Some things get on my nerves. Some things don't. But anyhow, so Benny went to Washington, and I saw this before, but check out what's going on here with all these protests and how they are destroying our monuments and
weekend, Palestinian protesters stormed the White House again. You're not going to believe what we found when we came here after the Hamas insurrection 2.0.
Come on, man.
Let's go find out.
So apparently they don't like Joe either. At least this group didn't. And this is a peaceful protest, I'm sure.
On the night of November 4th, 2023, terrorists supporting leftist orcs stormed the White House, desecrated national monuments, and smeared blood red paint all over the gates of the White House while scaling.
So you would think this would be on the news everywhere, talking about how these people are going to our Capitol and destroying things. This looks like an attack. I mean, if anything, but it was peaceful, I'm sure, and there's no arrests that I know of. Well, maybe there are. Let's find out.
The fences and hoisting foreign hostile flags above the gates of the president's residence. So what will be the penalty? U.S. Code 1361 says that these people must be arrested for destroying government property.
So I look at this, I see that $1,000 in damage. Man, you know how much the government just made off of these people protesting if they arrest everybody and take that money?
What does the White House look like now? Check it out.
Pay no attention to the
I'm sure they've cleaned it all up by now, right?
terrorists behind the curtain, because that's what's happening right here at the White House. We were here earlier this morning, saw the red paint everywhere, the red hands desecrating the physical fence of the White House. Now it's been covered up by a curtain as they power wash it all off. Who gets to pay for this, I wonder? Will there be any restitution for any of the protesters who desecrated the White House? The other thing that I find particularly interesting is that still 20.
So I'll leave a link to this video down here in the comments, not in the comments, but in the description later on. You can watch the whole thing. It's 8 minutes. I'm not going to watch this whole video. Then he does some things that I think are interesting, some things I think are annoying. One thing that I think a lot of media does, and probably myself included, if I don't have the information, but they don't tell us everything. They don't tell us the whole story. I'm gonna click ahead here. The next thing is the National Guard
can't sleep because of swollen crust.
To DC. They're having the other side of the table. Now, real quickly, the Israel and Palestine stuff, I don't think there's good reason for bloodshed on both sides. I don't understand it all. So I don't know. I know what happened over there was kind of like 9/11. And back when 9/11 hit, I was just like, go get them all. Wipe them off the face of the earth. That was my thinking back then. That was what? Over 20 years ago. But like many of you out there, I'll never forget where I was, what I was doing when all that happened. I'll never forget the panic. You know, united we stand. You can't see my shirt here. United we stand. United we stand, divided we fall. That's the way our country is. That's the way things are. That's just life. But nonetheless, so now they're having protests, and I'm sure they're going to be peaceful. I'm not sure when it happens. I think it's today, actually, because this was in preparation for today. So let's play this video real quick and show you what they're doing.
Officials preparing for 60,000 people to gather on the National Mall for a massive pro-Israel demonstration. Fox 5's Nana Sentyo Bonsu live with more on the preps for tomorrow's March for Israel rally. Nana.
A rally today. So check and see what happened.
Kenneth, good evening. That's right. You said it, 60,000 people. That's how many attendees. But there are a few things that crews are putting together right now as we speak, and as you can probably hear, to make sure that things run smoothly tomorrow.
Expected to be in D.C. tomorrow.
Texas, Chicago,
it's all great.
Boston, New York.
Organizers say they are expecting anywhere from 60 to 100,000 people on the National Mall.
They're coming together and demanding the continued support of this government. They are allowed to live.
Crews are hard at work.
The other thing, I don't know that they did this much preparation for the Palestinians that went into protest. I don't know. Just saying. Just, things that they don't. The news media just gives us the tip of it. They don't tell us things what's going on. So that's my question there. The other thing you don't see in the news much is
odds are you'll never be as
is about the shooting at the church. There's a couple of interesting things that I think happened with this that I just hear, but the media does not tell us about the stuff. But here's what happened.
Things can occur anywhere, anytime, here Sunday morning outside of a church service. So it's very tragic.
A church service interrupted when gunshots ring out. Now a man is dead and investigators are left trying to piece together what happened. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Bill Barajas. That tragedy struck during a Sunday service at the Lake Houston Methodist Church in Huffman. That's on FM 2100 in Northeast Harris County. KPRC2's Rochelle Turner joins us live from the scene to tell us how it all unfolded. Rochelle?
Yeah, Bill, talk about scary moments for about 50 to 70 church members who were having service this morning when a man showed up and allegedly started making threats. Now, we know that the shooter is a Texas EquiSearch member. He was detained and he...
So I had to look up, see what Texas EquiSearch member was, but I'll go to that in a second here. You can look it up if you want to. I'll put a link to who they are because I'm sure not sure how they got involved in this or why you would call them for this type of situation. But continue on.
Cooperating with the sheriff's office. Now, I want to show you video from what the scene looked like earlier this morning. Now, the sheriff's office says the man who approached a church member claimed his mother used to go there and claimed, quote, "Today was the day," unquote. When deputies arrived,
there's a little more behind the scene here because this guy was apparently arrested. I'm not sure at the church or what. I'm not sure who his mother was. There's just they haven't identified the guy apparently yet, so I haven't seen this information yet. This
man who was reportedly making these threats had already left. The sheriff's office said church members alerted a man who works for Texas EquiSearch about what was happening. When Texas EquiSearch workers arrived at the church, the suspicious man allegedly ran towards the worker who fired at least.
So what I'm hearing here is the guy left. They called the police or this Texas EquiSearch. I'm not sure why they'd call them. They showed up. Workers showed up on a Sunday. Texas EquiSearch is, from what I see, is they search for missing people. So what's going on there? I don't know. Something's going on there. And then the man runs towards the Texas EquiSearch employee who apparently is holding a rifle. Let's go with it.
He's 2 shots with a long gun. Tim Miller with Texas EquiSearch.
Rifle, long gun. So how far away was he? I don't know. Not yet. But he's got a long gun. Guy runs towards him. Apparently he had a vape in his hand. It wasn't a gun. The guy was apparently thinking it was a gun. So,
EquiSearch says he was on the phone with the worker when those shots were fired.
He was pretty emotional. He was pretty emotional. And I think when the suspect showed up again for the second time, it was certainly a huge surprise. I could tell that in his voice. I know this member very, very well. He's a wonderful member, and something I'm sure we wished wouldn't have happened, but it did. And again,
And the sheriff also told us that the man who was killed at this church was arrested yesterday and was possibly released early this morning at this hour. His name.
So why was the guy arrested? They didn't tell us that. They didn't look into it. They didn't tell us why he was released or how he probably posted bond. Was he drunk? They didn't say any of that information. And I haven't heard anything and I'm gonna have to look for it for later on and see if it's even interesting. But well, man lost his life. Yeah, and he didn't apparently have a gun. He had a vape. But that's the thing. If you don't know what they have in their hand, that's your life is being threatened.
Has not been released. Of course, we're going to continue to stay on top of this story and report any new developments on air and online at click2houston.com. Reporting live in Northeast Harris.
So that's one thing I found that was interesting. Here's another one. Happened just recently here in the DFW area, Dallas, for smash time there. In Mesquite. An armed man in Mesquite. He owns this guy in Mesquite, kept his store from being robbed. Watch this.
Time defending himself and his business from two armed robbers. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. Surveillance video captures the tense moments. The masked and hooded robbers walk in the front door.
Now, I got to say real quick, and you'll see, this is not the first time this has happened. It's like the third or fourth time in like 5 years, and this guy stays there. So I don't know. Yeah.
What they didn't know is the owner had a gun in the back of his pants.
So this guy is ready for it. He's watching, and you'll see his interview here in a second.
He sees them, pulls his gun, and the gunfire erupts. Fox 4's Amelia Jones spoke to that store owner. Joins us live from Mesquite right now with more. Amelia.
Steve, the store owner told us that this is the third time someone's tried to rob him in the past 5 years. Every time he's scared them off and police caught them. He's hoping Mesquite police also catch these two men.
It's a quick 3 seconds. I mean, there's no time to think. It's all reaction.
But this time, this guy's done this 3 times, so he knows what he's doing.
This store owner's quick reaction might have just saved his life. Watch this surveillance video from last Thursday at a Cash for Gold store on Town East Boulevard in Mesquite. Tin, who doesn't want us to use his last name out of safety, is in the back of the store when two masked and hooded men come inside. One pulls out a gun and a shootout starts.
Everything was slow motion to me. I saw the mask, I saw the hoodie, I saw the gun come out.
Tin shot first, and the two armed men fired back 3 times. No one was hurt, but bullets hit the glass counter, the walls, and Tin's golf bag.
Luckily, it wasn't me.
This isn't the first time Tin's had to defend his store. Watch this surveillance video from July 2019. 2 armed men fired back 3 times. No one was hurt, but bullets hit the glass counter, the walls, and Tin's golf bag.
Luckily, it wasn't me.
This isn't the first time Tin's had to defend his store.
So they had surveillance
Watch this surveillance video from July 2019. Again, 2 armed men come into the store. When they try to get to Tin in the back of the store, he fires off a warning shot, and it scares them off.
I think it's, the cash business, the gold business, it seems to be an easy target for them, but it's actually not.
Mesquite police want people to take a good look at the surveillance video.
Our hope is that someone sees these videos, sees.
This is another thing that, these crooks, they don't really even usually know how to shoot, which is a good thing most of the time. Here's another situation in Memphis.
If you want to eat healthy,
where a store was robbed by a mob, basically.
Only on ABC 24, video you might not believe if you weren't seeing it with your own eyes. Thanks for
$20,000 worth of people get out cars pulled into the gas station parking lot. Again, dozens of cars pulled into the gas station parking.
Look at all these cars. This truck here. I'd be curious to see if this guy went inside also, because this guy was still there when the cops showed up in a minute. And well, it took him a while, but watch. What do you do if you're working at a gas station and all of a sudden this happens? And apparently this gas station also, it's not the first time, and it happens like every week. It's like a party coming up. What just
lot all at once Saturday night, and at least 40 people get out. And once inside, they steal clothes, candy, food, and beer, all within 10 minutes before Memphis police finally showed up.
Our Zari Oz has the latest with one of the workers who was held at gunpoint.
This is the security camera footage at the Fill and Go. Take a look behind me. This is the moment that dozens of people start filing into this parking lot just before they go in to steal multiple items, costing this gas station thousands of dollars.
Many of them are teenagers, some are children, others are adults with the children. And it's not the first time either.
It was like 20, 30 cars. The second time, I would say that about 50 to 60, 70 cars.
Salah Hudaib, a co-owner of the store, was there as thieves ripped through the shelves.
It was like a group of people keep coming in. There were too many people.
Hudaib and one of the
Here's
cooks
what-
did their best.
Here's what happens with these things. The insurance company pays for this, pays for the loss, and then they don't want to spend the money to prosecute these people who are going in here stealing stuff. That's why people keep on doing this, because they're not getting punished for it. So this guy here, he doesn't spend the extra money to do anything in security and so forth. His store gets robbed, $20,000 or whatever. Anyhow, people are here recording this, posting on their social media. Insurance pays them. Now the insurance company is the injured party, and the insurance company says, we don't want to spend any more money on this. We're not going to go prosecute this. So the cops don't even go after these people at all. And then, yeah, so these people just keep doing it over and over and over. That's what happens.
To move people out of the store, but the thieves had guns.
He took it on me like this. I was like, he got the battle situation to get that machine gun on me. So I was like, that's it. Stop. I'm not doing anything. Just go inside, do whatever you want to do.
The cook didn't want to speak on
But-
camera, but who can blame him?
I
He
know.
has 7 kids at
That was
home
it.
and says he was just trying to make it back to them. Hudaib
In a self-defense situation, you have 20 cars, 50 cars, 50 people come in your store. How do you defend? Well, sure, you have a shotgun, so you can have a, like my Chaos, you can have a 5, 10, 20 round shotgun, shoot up buckshot everywhere. You destroy your store, you kill everybody, I'm sure, with that. But what do you do? How do you defend yourself against this? I think the only defense would be not to let it happen in the beginning. You know, there's no consequences anymore nowadays. So people just keep on doing it because there's no consequences. So people are going in here and they're taking they're taking vapes and sodas and what, condoms. I don't know. $20,000 worth of condoms or whatever. I don't know, but it's taken, and then the insurance company doesn't do any prosecuting. So the people aren't doing this. They can't be doing this for profit. They're doing this for fun. They got to be doing this for fun. That's just ridiculous. All right, let's
is so tired of it, he told me he's moving out of the state.
For the last 3 years, every Saturday between 6 and 8 o'clock. We grew up every Sunday.
see. He says it happens every weekend for the last 3 years. Come on, man. What is going on? The cops in this area, why don't you just park out front? I mean, get a gate. I don't know. Just it's ridiculous. There's no consequences here.
Between 8 to
The guy probably makes money off of his insurance. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad thing to say, but man.
10 o'clock.
Especially with it taking MPD the entire time of a robbery to get there. It
Watch it.
wasn't until
Watch it.
nearly all of the vehicles were gone
One cop pulls up. There's one guy sitting there in his truck still. Apparently
that they pulled up.
he can't get it started.
Right now, it took some like between 25 to 35 minutes.
25 to
The store is
35
back up
minutes
and running as
for the
usual
cops to
now,
pull
but
up.
it's leaving the owners with more questions than anything, especially a question for the city as to what they're going
This
to do
happens
to
every
intervene
weekend.
with
It's like they just got to put it on a schedule, and then the cops just like be on schedule. No, okay, in this time of night we're going to be in this area so we can get there faster or even prevent it. Something's wrong here. Something's wrong here.
the amount of violence happening across the Bluff City. In South Memphis, I'm Zaria Oates.
Oh, this is good.
Okay, so
Ramaswamy.
So, yeah, I'm so many things going on there, and I'll have to follow that story if there's anything else that comes out. I'm not in Memphis, so I'm not able to go to the gas station and ask them questions. If anybody's in this area, go to that gas station, ask them some questions, find out what's going on, because there's something else going on there. All right, now this guy, okay, this whole Republican debate thing. Trump isn't in the debates and so forth, and he's not going. this whole debate, it's like it's a waste of time. Why are we even watching it? Well, sure, we want to know who these other candidates are and so forth, but man, the Republican Party hasn't given us a strong candidate in how long? And maybe that's just my opinion. Someone tell me if I'm right or wrong, but it just, we need strong candidates. Not only Trump. We need somebody else. What happens after this election? So this next election is going to be very important because of what's going on. We might not even have a country if Trump doesn't get elected. And then the other side says we won't have a country if he gets elected. So, you know, do your own research there and figure it out yourself. You can obviously understand my opinion, but I don't think we should put so much trust in one person. Unfortunately, that's all we got. Because our leaders on both sides give us crap. We've got sleepy Joe Biden, who was apparently asleep, and then he just came in and magically, you know, quite frankly, at this point, if someone came up and said, "Hey, you remember the movie Men in Black, where all the leaders were aliens, controlling robot bodies?" You know what? I was like, "Oh, well, that explains it. That explains it." But we need better leaders, not just Trump. I mean, Trump may be the only option we have right now, but we need better people. What happens after Trump? Because he can only come in for 4 years, and we have to get there first. We have to get to the polls. We have to vote for him. We have to make sure that we don't have any stolen elections, and we have to make sure that it's transparent. So there's no even thought of it. Can you imagine? Can you imagine an election come up, and somehow the person that we think everybody voted for doesn't get elected? Can you imagine what'll happen next? All right, so this guy here, Vivek, I don't know, man. He just seems to me like to be a wolf in sheep's clothing. I don't know. There's just something about him. He has too many of the right answers. And I don't know enough about his history. He jumps out there and does the ballsy thing and says things about people and jumps on and defends and everything we want to hear. I don't know. I just have a bad feeling about him. But I could be wrong. So someone out there who knows something, tell me about this guy. Because from what I'm seeing, I'm just concerned because he goes out there and he does he gets the attention by saying these things. And I don't even see how this was a big issue. He just went off and they're making a big deal of it, saying that he went off on this guy.
Why do you keep going at Nikki Haley? Why do you think this is going to bear fruit?
Chris, I don't know what you've been smoking, man. You and the rest of the mainstream media. It's laughable.
So he goes, "I don't know what you've been smoking, man." Now, that just got everybody's attention. So that that just got him attention. He's learning from Trump on those things.
Nikki Haley's been going after me the whole campaign. First debate, second debate. She's been trailing me for much of the time, but I realize the establishment.
That's the other thing. She's behind me. She's not as good as I am, but she's been And the other thing is, why do these candidates always fight each other? And then whoever wins, next thing you know, everybody's buddy and friends. It's not awkward, isn't that weird? Not anymore, apparently.
Media has realized that there's a puppet they want to put up. I'm not playing that game. The grassroots of this country.
Anyhow, someone let me know about this guy because I just have bad feelings, and I just want to know what everybody else thinks. The other thing is I like to find these small.
So I was watching YouTube videos and playing with my gun like I regularly do it every morning. And these
He's
are
only
clear,
got
by the way.
347 subscribers. The link to his stuff on here. I'm gonna have a new link, new YouTubers. But this guy here,
It's my baby.
347 subscribers.
Cool.
Y'all go and subscribe to his channel. I sent you over there. I haven't talked to this guy yet, but it just seems like
Clear.
we as
So
gun people, we like to see guns. We like to see them go bang. We like to sit here and we can't go out to the range ourselves, so we like to see somebody else shooting it. We like to buy a new gun and we like to see how it works. and so forth. And some of the things he says in a few of his videos is right, where people are just getting these new guns and they're getting them for free or cheap or whatever, and they're going out and they're just talking about them. Everybody has their own particular guns they like and so forth. Some of us have to get the cheap ones. Some of us can buy the expensive ones. Some of us are lucky enough to have friends that have the expensive ones and so forth. But he's right. We just want to know before we buy a gun, is it going to be reliable or what and so forth. And everybody has their own particular flavor brand that they like. But yeah, see, I like to come out here and show my guns just, you know, because I can't, you know what? This isn't live, so actually on YouTube, I can actually do this. I just don't know why I hadn't yet. So talking about carrying guns and so forth, this sits in my pocket all the time. Nobody sees it until now. But yeah, it's my little carry. Shit's great. It's only $380, but you know what? When I have to use this, this is the last resort. But anyhow, I don't know why I hadn't thought about that. I'm recording this for later on, so why can't I just show you my guns? All right. I don't usually carry it in my pocket with one in the chamber. I almost did. And I keep it in a sticky holster. I need a new sticky holster. So, Sticky, if you're out there and you're watching me, I need a new sticky holster. And my last sticky holster I had for my other gun, for my 43X, I gave it to a first-time gun buyer. He's 21. He went out and bought his first gun, and he knew I did YouTube, so he showed me his gun, and he knew nothing about it. I asked him, I told him, I said, before you pull it out, I want you to clear it. He didn't know what that meant. That goes on to another thing. We need to make sure we are teaching our kids, our people, safety. That's your common sense. Common sense gun should be safety. Safety. Anyhow, Sticky, if you're out there, I need a new sticky holster for my Bodyguard. I need a new sticky holster for my 43X. And you know what? If you have a sticky holster for the Chaos shotgun, that would be pretty bad. Yeah, anyhow. All right, y'all, that's pretty much all I got right now. I'm gonna put a list of this new tubers up here, and just want to come by and talk to you guys in the morning. Say good morning to everybody. Hope everybody has a great day. Another thing that I found is one simple. Okay, I don't talk about it a lot, but I do believe in God, and I do believe in you know, these things. So sometimes you hear messages and so forth, and most of the time I ignore them, unfortunately. But the other day I let my computer sit, and I wasn't watching YouTube. I came back to my computer, and my computer was on this particular channel, and it was here. And if you watched me yesterday, you know that I'm kind of down and bummed out because I've been unemployed for about 2 months now, and I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to do and what I'm going to get my food for tomorrow and how I'm going to pay my rent. And I don't want to beg anybody for money, but so someone just said these words to me the other day, literally, let go and surrender all to God. That's what they told me. And I'm like, I know I should, but man, it's not easy. And then I left my computer on. No, I didn't leave it on. I just opened it up, and it was on this video in here somewhere. And I forgot exactly where, but I'll put a link to the exact spot where it was. And this is kind of meditation and so forth. So, but yeah, there's that. Let go and surrender all to God. All right, well, that's it for my morning my morning report. Good morning, America. It is my time right now is what does it say there? 9:05. So I'm gonna end this recording. I should have just done this live. I just wasn't sure how this would go, and then I'm going to post this on a live, and I'm gonna sit there and chat with y'all as you guys are watching it. All right, stay wild, y'all, and let go and surrender all to God. Maybe that should be my new closing.